Hi guys, Michael with Open Book Build here. So today I want to break down the cost for a new home. I'm going to share with you current builder profit margins and markup, lot costs, and the cost for labor and materials for new homes. And I'm going to give you the percentages of sales price as well so that you can apply them to the home prices in your market. So why is this important? Well, Zillow just came out with the prediction for home prices to appreciate by a whopping 16% this year. Now that's on top of the crazy increases we had last year. And I know many of you are having a hard time finding a home. Now Zillow says there were far fewer listings for homes for sale on their site this past month versus last year. In fact, there were 40.5% fewer homes for sale versus January 2020. And with a higher level of demand, this means bidding wars will continue. So I said to myself, what would I do if I knew housing prices were going up significantly and at the same time I couldn't find a home that I liked today? Well, I really like this idea of finding a lot in a location you're interested in and purchasing it today, even if it means you need to continue saving money prior to building the home. This locks in your lot costs, and if you become an owner builder in the future, you won't be paying the ever increasing builder profit margins. Now, these have been going up regularly since the pandemic began. And material prices are at all-time highs, which tells me they're going to be coming back down to earth once things start to cool off. So purchasing your lot today for the future dream home is most likely a good way to go. But in order to do this without losing money over the long run, we really need to fully understand the costs that go into the market value of a new home. By knowing the builder profit, the construction costs for both labor and materials, and the typical lot costs, you can buy the lot at the right price to build the home you want in the future. Median new home sales prices last year fluctuated from the high 300s up to 421,000. So for this example, I will use a new home sales price of 400,000, which is right down the middle. I'm also going to share with you the current gross profit margins for the publicly traded home builders. Now, my favorite company to look at for this is NVR, ticker symbol NVR. They operate under the names Ryan Homes, Envy Homes, and Heartland Homes. Now, this company has the lowest gross profit margin of the big builders I looked at 24.4%. Now, this number was taken from their earnings announced just a couple weeks ago, so it's fresh off the press. Other building company gross profit margins recently here, D.R. Horton at 29%. And Pulte at 27. So why am I using NVR's numbers? Well, in general, NVR buys developed lots instead of developing their own land. And for those of you that don't know, developing lots means you're going to buy a bunch of acres of raw land, you take it through the entitlement and approval process, you divide it into individual parcels, and then install the roads and utilities. Now, this development process requires a lot of effort and money, and therefore it's a profit center for these companies that do it. So when you're looking at Pulte or D.R. Horton financials, you need to realize that they make additional money off of the development of the lots that they use. Now, whereas NVR is actually paying retail prices for the lots after another developer finishes them. And this is basically what you'll be doing. You're going to be buying a lot that's ready to be built on. The other reason I chose NVR for the gross profit analysis is that they use subcontractors to build their homes, meaning they don't have any employees doing the actual physical work on the homes they sell. So all the carpentry, the painting, and so on is performed by individual subcontractors, not employees. Now, this is most likely what you will be doing as well for your home. You don't want to hire employees to build your home because of the hassles associated with payroll. So you'll most likely be using subcontractors, just like NVR does. So if NVR currently has a gross profit margin of 24.4%, and let's use 25 to make the numbers easier, and before you guys start to hate on NVR, the company that made that iPhone in your pocket has a gross margin of 43%. So NVR's gross profit of 25% translates to a markup over their cost of 33%. Now, going back to our new home sales price of $400,000, the builder markup over the cost would be $100,000. This leaves us with an overall cost of $300,000, and typical lot costs are in the neighborhood of 20% of the sales price. Now, this gives us a lot cost of $80,000. If we deduct that from the overall costs, we find that labor and material costs to build the house come in at $220,000. We know that roughly 50% of the house costs are labor and 50% are materials, so this translates into $110,000 for labor and $110,000 for materials. So I know some of you guys are salivating over the $100,000 markup number. You might be thinking, if I become an owner builder, manage the process myself, I can save that $100,000. And why wouldn't you say that? But there are a couple considerations here to discuss. First, the large publicly traded companies have economies of scale, so they buy materials and labor cheaper than you or I would. However, it's also important to keep in mind that many of these guys include line items in their costs in the gross profit calculation for sales and marketing and site supervision, which are not items that owner builders would have to be paying. Also, owner builders have the ability to buy closeout materials like remnant countertops or light fixtures or appliances. Big builders just don't have time to do this. And owner builders can do some of the physical labor themselves or have friends that are in the business give them a deal to do it for them. So even though it might be tough to realize the full savings of the 33% markup as an owner builder, the savings will still be substantial. So the bottom line here is it's a good time to seriously consider buying the lot for your new dream home so you can lock in your spot in the community that you really want to live in. And if you're seriously interested in saving some money on your new home, you might want to consider becoming an owner builder and actually managing the build yourself. It's not an easy process, but it can be very rewarding if you put the time in to learn how to do it. Now, some of you guys have been asking for a video comparing the costs for a basement to a slab. So stay tuned because that's going to be our next video. That's it for today, guys. Thanks for watching.